So now we're sitting here and waiting for our flight to Da Nang. I think boarding is in 1 hour and 15 minutes, and then I was supposed to fly in 25 minutes from now, but the gate here is completely empty. There's nobody working there or anything. Am I standing at the right gate or something happened or something like that? We're supposed to board 15 minutes ago, and yeah, now the flight is supposed to leave in 3 minutes. There's still no sign, no message whether it's delayed or what. We're still waiting for our airline, and you remember the swim pants, right? Okay, I think we're ready to leave.
This one?
That's it. Bye. Bye. Room 304 at the what was the name? So now you're doing the same thing as I did at the other place. Yeah, we are all safe, so thank you. We're waiting for our Grab driver to take us to the airport here in Bali, Kuta Bali. And from there we're gonna grab a flight to Da Nang in Vietnam. It's gonna take us 10 hours to get there because we have a layover in Ho Chi Minh City. So first we're gonna fly to Ho Chi Minh City. We're gonna wait there for 4 hours and 40 minutes, and then we have our final flight to Da Nang in Vietnam, and we expect to arrive there 11 o'clock this evening. So we have a long journey ahead of us, and I'm gonna take you guys with us, so you can see how it is to fly from Bali to Da Nang. And I'm gonna give you some valuable information about the prices and stuff like that on the way. So the thing here in Bali is that there's a lot of traffic no where you go, and I guess the airport is like 3.5 kilometers away from here. We're gonna see how long that's gonna take, but we should be in okay time, 3.5 hours to our flight, so we'll see. I have to say that Mexican restaurant is the best Mexican restaurant outside Mexico, and it's actually go that far and say it's in the top 10 list of best Mexican restaurant, including in Mexico. It's really a good place to go. So we are still on the way to the airport, and the traffic is a little slow here, but that's how it is here in Bali. Close to the airport here, and it didn't take 50 minutes this time. It was more like 25 minutes, so that was a good surprise, very positive surprise. Thank you. So now we just have to find our check-in point. Vietnamese company called Vietjet Air. It's a low budget carrier operating here in Asia, typical Thailand, Vietnam, and they are Bali. Well, it seems like a very modern airport, so everything should hopefully go very smoothly here. So, and yeah, it looks like we have to go through some sort of security in order to check in. And yeah, we're very early, so I'm not even sure our flight is on the teller yet. You want to go Thailand? Yes. Dong Muang. Can make it in 1 hour. Right. Dong Muang is actually Bangkok, the suburb of Bangkok. It's the secondary airport. We are going to Ho Chi Minh, yeah. So I think that's going to come next, Ho Chi Minh. Some sort of security. Oh, that's very interesting here. We had to actually we have to go through the security before we check into our flights. Okay, babe, I think we need to get the right, because there's more than one check-in. I could see over there, so we need to have know where we're going. A, B, C, we have to go to the other gate, so that's why. So yeah, so it's a little bit differently here, because here you have to go through the security before you check in your luggage. So that's a little bit opposite of everywhere else. So now we have to find area C in order to find our check-in area, and we have to go through the security before we do anything else. But it actually doesn't look like a security, it just looks like one of these scanners you put your luggage through. So you probably have to go through another security later on in this process. So yeah, so now we pass through the scanner, not the security, but the scanner, I guess you call it. And now we have to find our flight, and we are with a Jet Air, and of course that's the one with the longest line. Looks like Jetstar is a little bit longer. Are you with me, babe? You said Ho Chi Minh, right?
No, Don Muang.
Oh, Don Muang.
Let's go.
Yeah, Boo, she want to go to Don Muang. That's her hometown. Yes, that looks a little bit longer. That's Australia. I can see Melbourne, Brisbane. But yeah, we're going to Da Nang. So we're gonna stick with this line here. Check-in done. That was interesting. Yeah, because you're only allowed to take one luggage and not any carry-on baggage with you. But because you have electronic in your personal belongings, then you can actually take that extra, else you wouldn't be able to do it. So and now we have to go through the immigration, so turn off again. Finally we went through the check-in, and we went through the security, and we went through the immigration. And I have this kind of very crazy thing. I want to have a stamp for all the countries I visit, and unfortunately it's not possible everywhere. And here in Bali you can actually do like an automatic passport checkup, where just scan your passport and you go through, or you can decide to stay in line and get the manual checkup. And the good thing about getting the manual checkup is that you get a stamp in your passport, and I want the stamp. So so today we actually decided to go to manual so I could get a stamp, because I didn't get any stamp here for Indonesia when I checked into the country, and I really want that stamp. So now I got it when I checked out. So that's good news. And what is it with the Burberry?
No, believe me, Dior.
What is it with the Monsieur?
Dior.
You know, like every other airport in the world, you know, when you're going through everything, you go through this tax-free haven with perfumes and alcohol and cigarettes and all that, in order for you to buy. And Boo, she stops with every counter and look. So yeah, so that's the good news, because I have this goal before my passport expires. I want to have it filled out with stamps, so there's no more space for any stamps. So that's a goal I have, and today I got one stamp closer to that goal, because I decided to stay in line and get the manual passport immigration checkout. And regarding the check-in here, it was a little complicated, but it didn't cost extra expenses. But the issue here is that you're only allowed to take one carry-on with you, and I have two because I have all my electronics. But because it's electronics and you keep them separated, you're actually allowed to take that extra bag with you. So that was good news. Unfortunately, Boo, she lost her suitcase. Well, she didn't lose it, but we had to check that in as luggage as well. But good news here was that it didn't cost any extra fees. So now when we go to Ho Chi Minh City, we have to go out, and then we have to do another check-in in Ho Chi Minh City. So that's probably going to take some time, and let's see how long we are there. We probably have to pay for the extra luggage there, because our carry-on is like 14 kilos, and we are allowed to carry 7 kilos. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, now we are on the way to our gate. I believe our boarding is at 1 o'clock, and the flight departs at 2:05. It probably doesn't hold water these times, but we'll see how it goes. So Pinto, I guess Pinto must means gate. Oh, I was just about to buy some water, but obviously you need boarding pass to buy water, so I need this to buy water. Can you do me a favor? Go and stand in line over there. Then I'll meet you over there. Okay? It's okay? Can you handle it? I need my boarding pass to be able to buy 2 bottles of water. So.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's kind of funny, you have to show your boarding pass to be able to buy water, and this guy was putting in numbers in the register enable for me to pay for 2 bottles of water that cost 15,000 rupees each. That's 30,000. That's like 2 euros or something. So this is your last memory from Bali. So yeah, we're about to check in on our flight here to Ho Chi Minh City. Thank you. It smells really bad in this airplane. It smells like camels or something. Oh. 3 hours like this or something?
Yes.
See you in 3 hours. Standing here in the bus. Jet they are quite popular for using the bus service instead of using the usual gate. I don't know if it's cheaper for an airline to do, but yeah, it's a little bit ignoring because it takes a little bit longer time to get inside the terminal, and you have to add that extra time to your travel. But today it's okay because we have a 4.5 hour layover here in Ho Chi Minh City. So. So now we have to figure out exactly what we need to do, because we're supposed to go through the immigration and then check in again in another terminal. So hopefully we'll find some signs around here on how exactly to do that. So it's a little bit confusing that you cannot just move on, that you have to take your luggage and then check it in again. You would think that there will be easier way to do that, where you just leave your luggage and it get all the way to your final destination, or you declare it and then you move on. But not here in Ho Chi Minh. Here you have to go through and then check out and then check in again, which is not the most optimal way of doing things here. Okay, domestic transfer. So yeah, that's the thing here. We have to go through the passport control in order to check in again. Oh. You remember the name of the SIM card we had here last time?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
The company, because that one was pretty good, right? So yeah, we have to get some SIM cards, but something tells me it might be better to buy it on the other side than here. And yeah, last time I was here, I was waiting for 2-3 hours through the immigration. I do believe the line was a little bit longer back then than it is today. So hopefully we're not gonna go so long. So, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, definitely it's gonna take a little bit of time here. at least 45 minutes or something to go through. And last time we were in Vietnam, we went to Da Nang, and in Da Nang it took no time at all, 5 minutes, that's it. So and here it's gonna take a lot longer. Yeah, so now we got our luggage, so now we have to figure out how to take all our luggage and check in again. Right now we are in the National Terminal 2 here in Ho Chi Minh City. We have to find Terminal 1, and then we have to do the check-in one more time in order to catch our flight at the domestic terminal to Da Nang. So we probably have to go through the custom and everything, I can imagine. It's just a wonderful thing when there are like 20 people screaming your attention with taxi and SIM cards and a lot of other things at the same time. And now they start to look a little bit angry because we actually putting them on camera. Oh, I love it. And now we got our SIM card for our phone, so now we have to walk to a domestic terminal. And we got 2 weeks of SIM card here. Unlimited internet. We don't need the phone, so there's no phone included. And this is, you know, the old-fashioned SIM card. So 250,000 Vietnamese dong, which is equal to just below 11 euros for unlimited internet for 2 weeks. And many of these countries, when you buy these connections SIM card, then you have to show a passport in order to be registered. But here in Vietnam, if you get your SIM card below 1 month, like 15 days, then you don't need it. You just buy the SIM card and they put it in and then install it and everything, and then you're good to go. So just below 11 euros for unlimited internet for 15 days here in Vietnam. And you know, you're a little bit like groggy after flying, and when you pay, I paid for 2 and I paid 600,000 dong, and then it's okay, some kind of extra expenses or something like that. But then the lady actually said, sorry, I charged you too much, and then she gave me back 100,000 dong. Very honest. That's really something I appreciate here, that she was honest, because she could just have taken the money, I wouldn't have noticed, you know. So very, very good impression, and very, very easy to buy a SIM card here in Vietnam. And now we are heading to the domestic terminal. Yes, it looks like we are right on track here when it comes to right place, the right terminal, and when it comes to getting to Da Nang. Yeah, so now we are in the domestic terminal of Ho Chi Minh City, waiting for our flight to Da Nang, and we need some food now. Hui style, it looks pretty good. Noodles?
Maybe, yes.
Huh? Okay, well, you feel like Vietnamese sandwich or a big bowl? I guess you're a big bowl person, right? Yeah, so now we're getting some food here. Yeah, I have to say, these noodles, they're very good. And it's a big bowl. 2 bowls of this and 2 Cokes, 11 euros and 87 cents. I definitely feel full and satisfied now after getting some noodles. They're very delicious. It's not so often that airport food actually is a good thing, but here it was really good. So that's a good news. And yeah, now we are going to find a charging station so we can charge our phones a little bit. So now we're sitting here and waiting for our flight to Da Nang. I think boarding is in 1 hour and 15 minutes, and then soon. And from that we have like 1 hour and 15 minutes of flight. And then hopefully in Da Nang everything's gonna get a little bit easier, you know, not a lot of waiting lines, so passport control, because we're already domestic, we're already inside the country, so that's the good news. Yeah, we found this nice little charging station to charge our phones. Yeah, so sitting here in Ho Chi Minh City on our way to Da Nang, and for this trip from Bali to Da Nang we pay 100 euros per ticket, and I bought the tickets 4 days ago. And if I had wanted to go 2 days or 1 day earlier, which was in the weekend, the ticket would have cost 140 euros. If I waited 1 or 2 more days, I would have paid 70 euros for the ticket. With that being said, normally I go to a website called skyscanner.com where I always scan the different websites and I get the cheapest prices. But when it comes to Asia, which by the way is one of the cheapest areas to fly around in, you have to be a little bit careful, because when you go to Skyscanner, you do your search, you get a list of different companies offering you the cheapest possible tickets. But in this case, it was a site called My Trip that had the cheapest one for like 95 euros. But then, because we needed to get a luggage on, then I would have to pay $45 for the luggage with this company. Where in this case I went to the Vietjet Air website, which was the airline we flew with, and there the ticket was 5 euros more expensive compared to mytrip.com. But then there the luggage was only 16 euros or $17, which is around $30 saved just to stick to the original airline instead of buying your flight tickets third party. So my procedure when I do this, I always go to Skyscanner, do the scanning, find out where the cheapest prices are, and then I go to these different services and check their prices and check how much they charge for the luggage, because it's often the luggage you overlook. It's often the extra luggage you pay with, especially with these low budget airlines. And some of these companies, external companies, they kind of takes advantage of it and put a big price tags on it. When you're already through the process, you put your credit card information in and are ready to push the buy button, and then you suddenly get an extra $45 on top of the price. Where if you check with the local airlines as well, then you might actually very often end up with a much cheaper price, because they don't overcharge you when it comes to the luggage. So now we have like 1 hour more before we have to board our flight to Da Nang. Oh, I was supposed to fly in 25 minutes from now, but the gate here is completely empty. There's nobody working there or anything. And it just says check in. It doesn't say anything about boarding or anything or delayed. It's just completely blank. Then you start to wonder, am I standing at the right gate or something happened or something like that? That I don't know of, but well, now I asked the staff and they say it's still gate 19, so I assume it's correct. So it's amazing how it can have an impact on you if nobody stands at the gate and you're waiting for your airline. So, and yeah, when it comes to these low budget Asian airlines, I guess the quality of them, the service of them is not always that good. Right now our flight is leaving in 14 minutes. We're supposed to board 15 minutes ago. We're still waiting at the gate, and there's nobody working at the gates, and everybody's starting to be a little bit confused. Okay, am I at the right gate, or what's going on here, and stuff like that, waiting for the flight. And there's no information about delays or whatsoever on the big boards. So what do you do then? I asked earlier the personnel working here, they said, yeah, it's still gate 19. But still nobody there, and the flight leaves in 13 minutes now. So and yeah, now the flight is supposed to leave in 3 minutes. There's still no sign, no message whether it's delayed or what, and there's still no people working in the gate to tell people what to do, and people are starting to, like moving around a little bit, confused, so we're still waiting for our airline, and there's nobody working over there, and the flight is leaving in 2 minutes, and one girl is sitting over there and talking on her phone, and another one is sitting over there and playing with his phone. So it's really a good service this airline has. Yeah, so now finally something is happening here. Now the staff showed up finally, so hopefully we can get out of here as fast as possible on our way to Da Nang. So now we are finally moving here. Finally there's a flight we can jump on here after waiting for who knows how long. We are the only one flying this evening. What? Up? Yeah. So now we are finally on our way to Da Nang. So the flight is moving. Da Nang. And one more time we have to take the bus. Now we just have to pick up our luggage and find our transportation, and then we'll be on our way to area close to Da Nang beach. And we're just waiting for our luggage. Okay, now I forgot to look after my own because I'm used to always have my own. Don't kick my suitcase. It's always fun. Especially when you run out of suitcases and your suitcase didn't show up yet. So now we just have one more, and that's my suitcase. Okay, that's it, right? 3 suitcases. It started out with 3 carry-ons. We thought we could game the system, only check 1 in and then get away with 2 carry-ons, but no, that didn't go. So we actually ended up having 3 suitcases.